Holy shit, I'm back. All right. Welcome to the LLamas Graze with Curvance on Consensus Week. And to all my nerdy friends who are in Austin at Consensus, we talked to Curvance. They don't have a booth, but they're going to be out putting stickers on all the plastic that they wrap around the posts in the Austin Convention Center to make it easier to peel all this shit off. Everything in Austin is wrapped in plastic. I was there for South by Southwest, and like all the picnic tables, every post in town, every street sign, like they wrap it in that like that industrial grade saran wrap, so all the stickers and shit they can actually get everything off. It's kind of a good idea. Welcome, guys, Tay and Easy Bake.
Thanks for having us.
Glad to have you guys on. That you were starting to tell me about a party that you guys are going to co-sponsor, right? That's the one that came out on your Twitter post yesterday, Easy Bake. For
Yeah,
there was like a sign up code for it it is co-sponsored by Polygon too, right? It's the one with Poly and then some other dead chains. Was it Aptos?
I don't know about that. Jay, it's day on that one. It's integrated day.
Integrated, that's the one, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, they got a
I
bunch of
think
sponsors on
Movement
there.
Labs was the one who invited us. I think that's like the primary.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay, they're the ones paying for the beer. Got it.
I think so. Yeah.
All right, so I got my buddies signed up for that. I was gonna dox them in the Telegram chat, but I figured I just describe them: long-haired hippie guy from Hawaii, and then a teacher from Washington. You can pretty much spot the teachers like when you see them walking around because they're like uncomfortable around adults.
Makes sense.
Um, so I wanted to obviously we have 4 listeners. One of them is my recorder, and one of them's Hawthorne. So there's like 2 real listeners today. Usually we have about 7, so this is a little bit underperforming on our normal recording. But I run the recorder, and then we usually get a few hundred listens on YouTube. I post the recording to YouTube, and I'll have it up in a couple hours, so people who are are listen to our stuff are going to have a chance to hook up with you guys at Consensus. But mainly wanted to let you do the invite. I mean the intro, talk about Curvance, and then I put a whole bunch of invite codes in the Graze chat. So if you're listening to this call on the recording, you can go back to the Graze chat room and click on any of the invite links. Are those burned once they're used?
Yeah,
They're
they're one-time use.
Okay. And they can always get more from Odin, right?
Yes.
Or is it limited? Like, are you guys
yeah,
choking it down?
yeah. I mean, for the llama community, I think we want as many of you guys in there, which is why we had the partner role set up. As of right now, it's by invite code only, so you can either come in our Discord and bug us after you claim your llama role, or you can just bug Odin. But I think he's getting married right now, so you might be MIA.
Yeah, he's having a destination wedding in Norway. I can't imagine trying to pitch that to my family. You guys, I really want you to see me get married. We're spending about $5,000 on the wedding, but I'm going to need you to spend at least 5,000 on plane tickets.
Yeah, no kidding.
I asked him if he was marrying a Norwegian chick because I was all excited to see, the concept of like a big old tall Scandinavian blonde girl, but she's not Norwegian.
It's an interesting choice. I've never heard of anyone going to Norway for a wedding.
I don't think I've never met anybody who's ever been to Norway ever for anything.
It's a good
So
point.
anyway, if you're listening to the recording, it's Tuesday, the day after Memorial Day. You can still get on the chat and go to all those invite codes until they're burned up. And if there's a problem and you want to get on, you can ask me or Odin. So we got that out of the way. So you guys would just want to do like your quick elevator pitch, and then we'll talk about your grant and everything and all of the most recent stuff.
Let's do it.
So Curvance, we're building a modular protocol for optimized liquidity management. Started as this idea around basically lending and borrowing for curve and convex positions. And as we were developing that, we realized that this is a problem that actually exists across multiple ecosystems and multiple flywheels. So it's evolved quite a bit. The best way I could explain it is a very intuitive user interface abstracts a lot of the complexity away from current DeFi operations. As you guys know, you go into even something as simple as Convex, right? You have to go get your Curve LP. You have to not stake it in Curve, bring that over to Convex and deploy it there, which requires multiple tabs. And in other flywheels, it's even more complicated, right? Because you have like 50/50 LPs, right? So you have to go get two assets, deposit. You end up having a bunch of tabs open and a big headache just to do a simple operation. So Curvance kind of pulls that away from the user. We have native zapping built in, so you just pick whatever is in your wallet, type in a dollar amount, and you can enter into any of these existing opportunities across DeFi. The protocol itself is non-vampiric, so if we take an LP from Curve, we're going to route it into Convex for the user. So we're not stealing anyone's TVL. We're acting as a sort of agnostic, um, you know, value add protocol, I would say. And there's opportunities if the asset meets the security requirements to turn on collateralization. So users could leverage up or borrow against certain assets, and they're separated into various markets depending on risk, chain, and ecosystem, right? So you might have some convex assets that we don't, have lending on. You have others that we pair with similar risk profiles. So you could have stablecoin LPs all in one market for better, uh, rates basically on the lending side. We do auto compounding vaults as well, using 4626. So pretty much every position is hands off for the user. The yield just compounds back into the principal. And then the vote escrow system that we created is basically an evolution of what Curve did, except we fixed the fragmentation issue with deploying to multiple chains. So essentially we have this, we call it a data layer, but with Curvance you can lock on any of the chains we support. Your CVE tokens for VECVE, it's a standard 12-month lock with the option to opt into a continuous lock, which basically just keeps you at that 12-month duration until you turn it off. Protocol fees are generated through a percentage of yield on yield-bearing positions. We can take, fees on the actual lending side. We can take liquidation fees. The DAO could also implement other fees in other areas. We have Oracle extractable value. There could be a small fee on zapping or things of that nature. All these fees are converted into USDC on every single chain, every position. And then at the end of the epoch, which is bi-weekly for us, USDC is basically distributed pro rata based on the amount of VE tokens you hold in proportion to the entirety of the VE system, rather than where you're actually locked on chain. So creates a really cool new flywheel that allows chains themselves to sort of PvP with each other, if you will. They could incentivize our lockers to migrate their locks to their network in order for the user to receive the fees to their chain. So it's kind of like an extra flywheel on top of the existing gauge system.
Cross-chain PvP. I like it.
Yeah.
So, looking back at at your announcements on Twitter and like the build up of the cross-chain concept, did you guys start out like planning to have this thing be cross-chain from the beginning, or has it just grown with the explosion of L2s?
It really evolved. Like I said, it started really around just the Curve ecosystem. That was the original idea. And as we were developing, of course, it was a bear market, right? Shortly after we started development. So we weren't really in a rush to launch anything during that time. It just kind of came naturally. The way that Curvance was built was just brick by brick. And Chris, my co-founder, would have an idea on the development side. I'd have an idea. Other guys on the team would have some idea. We'd throw it in the mix and, just build it out piece by piece. But yeah, we realized if we like the original thing was like we're gonna build support for Curve on like Arbitrum as well, right? And so from that we had to build some cross-chain tech. We realized, oh wait, this vote escrow system, we could actually make this fully multi-chain, and then solve this sort of protocol fee distribution issue and user fragmentation issue. We also built like a middle layer between like the RPC and the actual dApp, so you can view all the opportunities like on one screen across all the different ecosystems without having to switch your wallet connection. which makes it again just a little bit easier for the user, where you don't have to have that extra step of switching your network manually to see other things
I
in
mean,
the DAP, which I
you can shop yield on one window. Like,
yeah,
you just
Yep.
you don't have to go through and switch to 13 different networks on MetaMask or Rabby or whatever to be able to get it to load. You just load the Curvance website and like, here's where you're gonna get the most yield, and like points you to the right direction, right? It's like, I mean, it's like a cross-chain yield aggregator.
yeah, it really is, and it would make it super easy for users to move from position to position. Long term, I said this before, if we get a lot of adoption with Curvance, I think it's going to incentivize, better incentive models on go forward, because you're going to have flywheels across different networks sort of competing for liquidity retention. Of course, that only happens if we have, a massive mode of TVL and users, but um, yeah, it's kind of cool to think about.
It's exciting I mean, just speaking of in the Curve ecosystem, obviously we're big, all of our people are super Curve centric, but the idea of like the Arbitrum grant being matched by a Mitch, that vote that he's got up right now, like then that would like leap Arbitrum above everything else on rewards, right? Like that would the yield on Arbitrum would go up by a factor of 4 or 5. So it would drive all of your customers to roll everything up to Arbitrum and move their positions around. And it obviously it would cause some dilution on the Arbitrum rewards, but it'd be kind of fun. It'd be like it'd be more active. Like you'd be able to watch it and go chase the best yield, and you don't have to like deal with unstaking, swapping, bridging. Going onto a different into a different LP. Don't stake the LP on that one. Go to this web. I mean, like you said, it's just fucking ridiculous. The amount of hoops that we have to jump through.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
would say. Oh, sorry, Mike.
Was just gonna say, we also have that our own gauge system, right? So like on something like an Arbitrum deployment, if it has better yields than ETH mainnet for curve positions, could easily support that. And then likewise, right, our team or anybody who holds the VE token could vote for those assets to give another stream of rewards of CVE tokens those positions. So you could
Oh, so
really
you
see
stack
like
it on top. Your rewards on top of the what was hot the hot thing right then. Nice.
exactly, yeah,
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was going to mention. We're really positioning or see Curvance as kind of DeFi's reward there. We kind of know the benefits of having this one-stop shop for users, but also as we talk to all these different L2s and ecosystems, it's becoming more and more clear that they don't have a great way to distribute incentives right now. So Curvance could really help track that flow of capital and kind of become that central place where it's actually being directed to.
Yeah, everything's pretty fragmented, like you guys said in the intro. Like it's any kind of centralization. We've all been what have we all been saying for like 3 years? Like it needs to be easier to onboard new users and be simpler for people who aren't like in the trenches like we are. So this is a exact delivery of that desire for us to simplify our DeFi world.
Now, I don't know if I can share a screen and if your llama recorder bot can pick it up, but I can give you guys a quick demo of the new modals and tables if you'd like.
That would be awesome. I don't have video recording set up on it, but I will take a couple screen caps if that's okay.
Of course, of course. All right. Is it working?
Yeah, got it up. I'm gonna put
Perfect.
that one on full speed or full screen and mute myself and take some pictures.
Awesome. Some folks may have already got access to the DApp, but we've updated some of the features and UI flow just based on some of the suggestions that we've collected. We have about over 40,000 folks that are whitelisted to participate in testnet. I think a hair under 10,000 have actually gone in and completed tests and given feedback. So we've analyzed and collected a lot of info so far. But there's a couple key things to mention. We want this to really be a decentralized front end for all of DeFi. We're going to have some opportunities that are going to appear under your dashboard with information about your positions. And then we also have our market overview tables. where you can see markets or vaults by the different strategies, and then you can dive into them to get a specific market view. So on the specific market view page, you have a header with some high level information about the market. On the right hand side here, you can see different opportunities by TVL. We're still sorting things out here, and of course things like utilization rate. At the deposit level, whenever you actually go to deposit an asset, we have these really nice looking modals. You'll be able to select your deposit type by either uncollateralized deposit or collateralized deposit. And coming soon, you're also going to have the ability to leverage deposits too, which is essentially going to be a ZAP. Some other things that we've also implemented are some user level settings. We're going to build this out in the near future here, but to get things started, you can select things like your slippage, approval type, and all that good stuff. Jumping over to the portfolio page, you have a high level overview of your different deposits, debt, and loans in the market. You can see when the epoch is ending and what epoch you're on, and you can also see your positions by the different actions that you've taken on the platform. Here is where you can manage locks or lock CVE. It's very simple. You can also see global lock activity. And whenever you want to manage your locks, you can click the sidebar here to populate some additional information to extend or manage your locks. So you can force release if you want to take a bit of a haircut there, but it'll be easy to manage here. You can claim your rewards on this page. It's going to include information about the epoch, the different rewards that you've claimed, and your lock activity. And it won't be out with this new update that's being deployed this week, but on the next build, there's going to be cross-chain locking and migrating, so you'll be able to test that out as well. So it's there's a lot in here to play around with. Really encourage folks to just kind of jump in, get their hands dirty. Would love to get your feedback, especially from the Llama community folks that are really familiar with DeFi and other platforms. So feel free to jump in there, jump in our Discord, and let us know how to improve this thing.
Awesome. Thank you for the preview. Once again, back to the recording. Anybody listening to the recording, if you go to the Graze chat, I just screen capped like the whole walkthrough of the preview that Tejas did. And you can go check out the UI, and it's pretty awesome. It's super slick. Do you have some kind of a time window of like when do we need to push people to do the tasks by a certain point, get on testnet by a certain point, or do you guys have no really like soft dates and you just want people over the next few weeks, months, whatever, to experiment?
So the earlier that you get in there, the more bytes you can collect as we roll out new features and tasks. There's currently one set of tasks out right now. Things are kind of borked, unfortunately, on the market, so we're redeploying. We had a pretty big liquidation event, got stuck with a bunch of bad debt because we didn't have liquidator bots running. So it kind of jammed things up. But with the redeploy, that will all be fixed. So I think as of tomorrow, you'll be able to start collecting bytes again. And then we're basically going to run this until beta. But you only have to give feedback once per build, and you'll get 100 bytes each time you submit the feedback form.
Nice. So totally a no-brainer. Get on the Sepolia testnet, get some Sepolia ETH, and get started and use the referral codes that you guys sent us in chat, and get on and start collecting some points, bytes rather. Don't say the P word. Hopefully, I'm imagining that like people who do testnet testing are going to get an invite code for beta, so it's like a foot in the door, right, for like the very early access.
We're
We're
Mike, do you
toying with
want to take
the
this one? Yeah.
yeah, for sure. We're basically still finalizing how beta is going to be open for anyone. It's basically the full protocol release without the token.
Okay.
Um, but we're playing with the idea of giving some sort of benefit to a user who did like all the testnet tasks or something and also uses beta. It's not finalized though. Like we're still playing with how this all looks in the final implementation, but that's kind of where our heads are at.
All right, cool. So it's open. I'm assuming that in beta you're gonna have to cap, right? Like you guys are gonna have a massive influx, so you're gonna have to like cap it and roll out weekly lifts, like all these other programs have done.
Yeah, there'll be caps on collateral just in general. They'll probably start out lower than they need to be just for safety. Um, Again, the cool thing about Curvance is it doesn't have to be a collateralized position, right? So you could bring in just bearing assets that aren't collateralized and they're just participating in the gauge system or farming points or sorry, butts. um, and there shouldn't really be a cap on that side. It's the collateral aspect that really has the additional risk layers.
All right, nice. Just jumping over while I'm still thinking about it, wanted to ping you guys about your announcement from a couple, like was last week. You did like a dual announcement at the same time about the Wormhole grant that you guys got, and that you had some contracts come out of audit. So did you want to talk about those together or individually pick one?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. So we partnered with Wormhole. Been talking with those guys for I don't even know 9, 10 months now. Um, a good fit, right? We originally built the stack on layer 0, so like that was like the original code base. We were on that. Um, Realized like the further along in development we got, just how many different like open source product lines that they could create based on like the things we were building. So we really wanted whoever our cross-chain partner was to champion that strongly. Layer Zero is great, like super cool team. We're still friendly with them. It just wasn't the level of support we wanted out of the relationship. So we talked with Axelar, we talked with Wormhole, we even talked to some of the other smaller groups. Wormhole was just the most receptive and the best cultural fit. So we ended up, striking a partnership with them. We received a grant from their team, and that grant is largely for security audits. And so the recent Cantina competition that we just ran um, is basically, basically Wormhole paid for that, which was very, very awesome. And then, of course, we share like a Slack channel, and their security team reviews the implementations that deal with the cross-chain stuff. So it's a really good working relationship, and we really like those guys. They've been great.
Congratulations on that. That's a huge step to be able to go from the across the chasm, right? Like that the actual delivery of product thing and being able to have some funds to be able to keep you guys going and get you across to the TGE.
For sure. Yeah, we've been auditing for 9 months now, and we've done a lot. We've even done some kind of unique approaches to auditing. So Trail of Bits published our like work report or whatever, post mortem, whatever you want to call it, after we did the work with them. So Tay actually helped us secure that relationship there. But Trail of Bits did stateful fuzzing for us. So it was a little bit different than just like a straight up smart contract audit. They basically went through and tested like each line of code and just threw like a billion parameters at it and tried to break it with, various edge cases and math. We actually found one critical vulnerability by doing that we wouldn't have found through traditional smart contract auditing. And it's something that we don't really see too often that teams pursue, but we have a really large code base. There's a lot of complexity with the math. So it makes sense to kind of spend a little bit more time and a little more money to kind of do these more abstract things. The way I kind of think about it, and I think Chris is of the same mind on our team, is the black hats that are looking to take money from these protocols, right? They're well-funded organizations, sometimes even countries,
Yeah,
and
one in particular, one specific country.
exactly. And so in my mind, they're using the same tooling that any of these other cybersecurity firms are going to have, right? So like they're probably going to run stateful fuzzing and kind of take our code and put it into that and try to break it in every way they can and find these little edge cases. I think is what happened with KyberSwap in their like hack to happen. It was kind of like a weird edge case with variable. I don't even know. Not a dev, but um, in our mind, it's worth kind of thinking how they're thinking and trying to be preemptive with that. And for us, auditing is one of those things. It's going to be a consistent, ongoing process, and probably one of the
Yeah.
biggest expenses we have because it's just you have to.
Like everything that you bolt on, right, as you expand and grow out on a different networks, especially with the cross chain stuff, is going to be another audit, right? For like every leg that you bolt on. I love the fact that you got that auditing firm. What was it? Not BitConnect. What was that? Was the other?
Trilobit.
That was the fun one today, right? BitConnect was the joke that Mitch was using today. Uh,
Yeah.
what was it called? Little bits of
But Trailer
Trilobits.
Trilobits. Little bits of
Trilobits.
is like a food blog that my wife watches. Okay, so it's cool that they like use you guys as like a pitch, right? So like they recorded everything and then they advertised it and said, this is why you guys need new customers need to come to us and pay for this extra layer of auditing because we found this for Curvance and check it out. Like, so they got to use you guys as like a premier test case.
it was
Yeah,
it was
we're
actually
also
really
gonna.
good day.
I was just gonna say, yeah, we're also gonna be hosting a workshop with them at ECC in Brussels on invariant testing. So it's their Meduca suite. I don't know if I'm
Producer.
saying it right. I don't know if it was Medusa. It was a different name. But yeah, it was quite the endeavor. You know, Curvance code base is 15,000 lines of code. Whenever they were testing it, it actually broke Foundry as well. So it was quite an interesting case study. So if you're going to ECC, definitely check out the workshop. It should be one to catch.
That's exciting. And it seems like it should be the, as our ecosystem grows and gets more expansive and the code gets bigger, the code, the actual code base gets bigger, this should be like an automatic part of your audits. You don't just have a smart contract thing. You also take, I don't want to use the buzzword, but you're going to have everything automated to be able to just like throw like you said, a billion, possible breaks into some code and load it into a simulator and run like, a million simulations trying to break something and find what a normal smart contract audit wouldn't do. Oh, cool. Thanks for linking. The link's in the chat also. If you go
And
back,
it was right. It is Medusa.
I thought you were saying Methuselah. So I did my biblical fuzzing. We're getting out in the weeds. Okay, these dogs, Jesus. I got two French bulldogs behind me and they're pissed. So the other inside of that, the most recent announcement with Wormhole and then audits, you had another audit firm also that was like more traditional, right? That you came out of from some other of the earlier contracts.
Yeah, we worked with Trust Security to start. So we had Zach Obrant, who sits on Trust and Spearbit, and Trust himself, who founded Trust Security, the top wardens on Code Arena. Just very, very talented guys. They did the initial audits. We also have them on retainer. They do sort of all the review. They help us out with, the competition, for example. We had to do like the judging and all the fixes for that. So like Trust was involved in that process as well, just because they're already familiar with the code base. Um, then we worked with Y Audit. I think they helped expand some of the testing suite as well, was their role. And then right now we're looking at, I think, Passoff Group, I think that's how you say it, to do this
Yeah, I
kind
like that
of,
guy.
yeah, super smart.
All right, awesome. The anything else like that you needed to announce or tease or talk about like that we should be looking forward to just obviously following all the socials and then want me parroting anything on the llamas account. I should be like like large announcements that you guys drop in Telegram. I definitely want to like repeat onto either into our channels like on Twitter. So anything new coming up that we should be watching for like in the next few weeks?
You want to take this?
Yeah, I would say in the next few weeks, just keep an eye out for the updated task and UI features that we're rolling out. Collecting bytes is going to give you a head start on the community incentive program. As we complete kind of our final audit before beta, we're going to be releasing more details about that community incentive program. So we'll kick things off with the blog. In terms of this points program, it's going to be a fixed timeline, pretty straightforward. So there's going to be no shenanigans, for lack of a better word. And other than that, just really looking forward to getting your guys' feedback as folks that are familiar with the space. I think feedback from your group in particular is going to be invaluable for us as we continue to truck into beta and our LVP and DAO launch.
Awesome. Congratulations on the big announcements. Obviously, so what I'm taking away from this is that the best way to stay hooked in is be a testnet tester. And where are you? Is there a testnet Telegram channel, or how are you communicating with the testnet users?
So in our Discord, we have a channel called Floppy Fix It. If something's broken or you have some suggestions, you can come yell at us there. We're always just kind of hanging out in Discord generally. And if you're stuck in the waiting room, just give me a ping. I'll get you through the door there.
Nice. Can you drop a Discord invite also in the Grace chat?
Yes.
In case you can't tell, this is my filing cabinet. Like everything that every call that I do is just like a filing cabinet on the right hand side, right? That I can like screenshot and be able to keep.
I love it.
So, and then I always refer back to it, So I'll do all your links inside of the announcement also with the recording. So appreciate it, guys. Did you guys want any kind of wrap up stuff, or are you guys ready to roll on the day?
Ready to roll. I'm about to go hit consensus. A bunch of folks just landed. They've been texting me, so
Nice.
just see what kind of trouble we can get into.
Yeah. Good luck at the what's the place that, like, the wood shack behind the convention center, the barbecue place? I mean, I gotta be more specific. There's like a million
Oh
barbecue
yeah, yeah,
places.
yeah, yeah. Across from it's the Fairmont or
There's
whatever that
some
hotel.
yeah. Behind the convention center. There's some badass places in town. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And I'm gonna try to watch some live stream stuff and keep, just obviously the big ones. But I've got 2 guys that I sent there who are supposed to be collecting a lot of notes and everything. So I got some feedback coming in.
Should be a good
Appreciate
one.
it,
There
guys.
seems to be a lot of folks in. So
Well, it's fun that, like, we went from, for like the ETH world in the last 2 weeks has gone from like the depths of depression to full blown joy. Like, we rallied $1,000 in a week. So everybody's gonna be all hot, like, yeah, we're gonna make it again, which is usually a
yeah,
top signal. So good. This is great.
for sure. I'll give you the temperature check on if people are selling $500,000 NFTs at this event.
Then we know for sure, just get the fuck out of
Yeah.
everything. Just go stake my stables and call it good.
See a celebrity, I'm selling everything.
Oh yeah. What was the Tony Hawk? If Tony Hawk's there, I'm fucked, okay? Don't
What the Caitlyn Jenner coin wasn't enough for you guys?
Caitlyn Jenner's on-chain begging. She says that Chris and the kids have all the money, like, fucking ask for some cash. All right, guys, thank you
Cool,
for
guys.
being on. And I
Thanks for
think that
having me.
does it. It's a short call today, but it's consensus week and it's, 7 in the morning. So off we go. Thank you.
Appreciate
See
y'all.
you
Take
guys.
care.